send it
Okay.
to your team if you want. Okay.
Recording?
Yep.
Okay. So Jessie Prodehl, Triple Diamond. I've been doing this for 3 years. So I did try to think for a second a little bit about my story to kind of write something down, figure out what I was going to tell you guys. But the second that I started thinking about my journey with It Works, the best way I can describe it is like a succession of awesome accidents. So when I started, and this question was asked in a group recently, like what was said that, that made you join? What were those magic words that made you jump? When I started, Leah Warren is my enroller. We had gone to college together, and I had seen Leah posting on Facebook. I had no idea what it was, but important to remember for me is that I never bothered asking. I just kind of watched it. I don't know if I liked anything. I'm sure I didn't. Didn't comment. But I think it was probably about maybe 6 months that I watched these posts and I had no idea. I was super curious, but it stopped there. I mean, and I was thinking of it just like, ooh, does that really can't do what it says it does? That'd be cool if it did, but I'm sure it doesn't. So needless to say, it had been going in the back of my mind, as it does for all these people that you guys are posting to. But like so many of those people, I didn't, she would have no way of knowing that I had been considering anything, that I was looking, that I had even seen her post, honestly. So maybe after probably 6 months of seeing these random posts and wondering but not saying anything, I got a message. And literally, I couldn't even tell you what the message said, but pretty much it was somewhere along the lines of, hey, I'm doing this, and, I think that you'd be really great, at what I do, or I think that you'd be really great at this, or, however she worded it. And she ended it. I don't have the message, but she ended it with a question. So it was, would you be interested in some more information? Which is a very non-committal anything, right? Okay, what's the harm in some extra information? So I'm like, whatever. I'm literally, I'm laying in my bed, messaging her, this was not what I expected for the night. But I will tell you, she sent me just some basic information, and that night I signed up. Now I know that we would all want people like me that you message them once and they just jump right in. But I think that the lesson is that the people watching you. So and that's an important lesson, but also Leah started with the opportunity. So when she came to me, I had zero brain cell in my head that was even entertaining the idea of selling. I've never wanted to sell anything. I wasn't looking to make extra money. And again, this is kind of where I call it an awesome accident. I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't seeking anything out. I've been to so many parties and they talk about the sales thing. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. No, thank you. Let's just get on with it. But the funny thing is, all I had thought about was the products, but she planted that seed. Now, had she never planted that seed, I would have been like, oh yeah, I guess I'll try them out, right? I would have been a customer. And honestly, I probably would have been a happy customer for a long time, and with zero bone in my body ever wanting to sell. But she asked me, and it was like I said, a non-committal, little by little bit of information she sent, whatever. And honestly, I signed up. and Shanna, you guys, I don't know if you remember, like I mega boosted. I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, like I'm going to need some reps. And like, I didn't even tell her, like I signed up on myself. I'm like mega boost, like, okay, like let's do this. So weird. But the thing is it's weird because like I said, we weren't looking for anything. My husband works like crazy. He's currently in Wisconsin, and he just got back from Nebraska. Like he's gone all the time. I don't post that on Facebook because I don't want somebody to come to my house. But he's gone all the time, right? So either way, I was working full time. I had spent my entire life devoting myself to becoming a CPA. So I went through school, I went through my master's program, I went through my CPA certification. I mean, I got the, job of all jobs with a, Big Four accounting firm, kind of figured that out, went to a different company. But long story short, like I said, there was no bone in my body that had any, like, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a network marketer. Like, but I mean, a lot of things in talking with Leah that she said, I guess, made it less scary, because, it's risk-free and I'm going to get these reps and blah, blah, blah. And if, I might as well try them out. And I'm like, yeah, like, and at that time, I won't talk about the free product, but I was like, well, worst case scenario, I get, some free product and, whatever. So that was really kind of my deal. Like I came into it not looking for anything. We've been blessed that I, wasn't trying to make ends meet financially. But what I didn't realize is, it wasn't an accident, right? Like God had a plan. Like there was a reason that she messaged me. There was a reason that I signed up the first night that, whatever. But like we needed time. So, and I didn't realize it. That's not why I signed up. I really saw in the back of my mind, my mom had like a really, really cruddy job and all kinds of politics and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't know, but like if she's really, doing well and really making money doing this, like, you need to paint that picture for people, right? Like, so like I kind of had that picture painted for me. So even though I wasn't looking for it for myself, I'm like, I know somebody that this could help. And like, that's, honestly how I even, got into it. So yeah, so I wasn't looking to quit my full-time job. That was never in my like little tiny brain. I just figured, I can help mom make some extra money on the side. And yeah, so, that being said, like Shanna said, I started up and okay, I think that people that see me on social media or within the business or whatever might be fooled into thinking, and it's a very false thought, but that like I'm super outgoing or that I'm actually very introverted. Okay. So another thing that sold me when I talked to Leah is, I'm like, I told her straight up, I'm like, I'm not going to do parties. And she's like, well, that's okay. Like, if you want to do it on Facebook, I'm like, okay, I could do that. Like she was able to meet me where I was, and do I do parties now? Absolutely. Like who's going to launch my distributors, right? But like, I wasn't ready to like swallow that whole right away, So like starting up or when people are just signing up, it's like, it might be a lot. Like for a lot of people, you haven't been in sales, you haven't been in network marketing. You have like, this is just like something that my brain really couldn't comprehend. But like, she kind of met me where I was, and little by little, it happened, So, but yeah, my comfort zone isn't, in front of a ton of people like this, even though y'all are in front of your computer screens, like, that's intimidating for me too still. But it's been, kind of a growing process. So either way, I started out, I knew nothing. I just kind of rolled up my sleeves and I was like, if we're going to do this, like, we're going to do this, right? Like, I don't know where I'm going and what I'm doing, but like, we're going to do this. So yeah, it was weird because at the point, I don't remember when they announced conference, Shanna, but like, I mean, literally, I feel like it was like right after I signed up. And Leah's like, hey, are you going? And I was like, like, do I go? Like, is that a thing? I don't know, whatever, maybe. Right. So I think I gave her a maybe, and I waited till I know the early bird pricing was gone and whatever. And then I was like, well, not gonna, $100 more now. Like, I've got, the kids and it's busy, and I don't know. I don't know what made me do it, but I signed up and I went to conference. And literally at that time, who was it? It was me, Leah, Brianne, you, Rachel, Hunter.
That's it.
Well, that's it.
I mean, that's really it. Because you guys all shared a room, and then Brianne and I and my husband and I were in a different hotel, and that was it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I knew Leah. I knew nobody else. So I was sharing a room. I ended up sharing a room with Leah and Rachel Hunter. So I'm sharing a room with, Leah I knew, but in all honesty, we weren't like besties, going through college. Like, we just kind of knew of each other. So it was weird, like how I ended up saying yes and, whatever. But guys, I will tell you, like, I can't stress the importance of getting to events. Like, when I first started, I plugged into calls because I was told to listen to calls. So I listened to calls. I didn't have the time because I was working before work at home, and then I was working at work. So anyone out there that thinks that they're too busy, I'm going to tell you, like, I worked so much before It Works. And like, that was number one, could have been my excuse. I worked before. I went to Joliet and I worked there. And then I hurried and came home and picked up the kids and whatever. Usually we got something gross and fast food or something to eat for dinner. And my husband and I were on our computers like all night. Like, so a really fabulous family life, as you can imagine, right? Like, we're both making good money, but like, our family life was not so hot. Sitting in front of computers and working all the time. I brought my computer to bed, and I was doing bank recs and this until I was like, sometimes up till 3 a.m, like, just stupid. And then back at it to do it again, because that's what you do, right? But either way, I still listen to calls. So like, there's always a way. There's always a way to do it. So I was on my Excel doing budgets and whatever, and listening to Pam Souter on the Show Me the Money call. Everything's recorded. So it'd be, like I said, 5 a.m, I'm sipping my coffee, and just hearing that, it gives you different perspectives, right? Like, in Chicago, there was nobody here. Like, we didn't have a monthly meeting. Like, you got, I don't know where everyone is, but like, we don't have a monthly meeting. Like, what's a monthly meeting? So like, I remember I would come home. I remember one time I came home from work. Liz had something going on, and I came home from work. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get, like, cause I had said, like, could I FaceTime, or could I, like, I was trying to plug in, and I came home from work early and her phone died or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody here. I'm trying to plug in. I can't, but like, bottom line, the resources are there. Listen to the calls, listen to whatever. So, fast forward to conference. I don't know why I was there. I kind of like had this little self-talk conversation in my head, like, okay, you're an idiot. Like, you haven't even done anything, started anything, made any money. And like, you just dropped, I don't know what I spent, but I paid for the room and the plane and the, like, whatever, the ticket plus the $100 because I didn't get in, and I'm super cheap. Those who don't know me, I'm super cheap too. So I was like, ooh, is this a smart decision? Whatever. But I got there. And honestly, I don't know. I would venture to say that I wouldn't be here if I didn't go there. Right. So like the Zoom call or the show me the money calls, all those were like inspirational and, you know, kind of helped me along the way. But like, honestly, conference, I saw it. Like I got it, you know, like I'm seeing these people, and that's how I explain to people this business. This business isn't like, oh, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, their brother's dog's cousin's boyfriend. I don't know if I'm talking about a dog now, but anyhow, like it's somebody, whatever, that makes a lot of money, right? Like you'll never talk to them. You'll never see them. You'll never, you know, they'll never throw a party for you. Like that's not this. And honestly, when I went there, Leah was diamond and Brienne was double. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I asked Leah, how many people do you have underneath you? She told me 30. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know if I could ever have, you know, like that's awesome. Right. So, I mean, that diamond, I was like, that is fabulous. Right. Like I'm going to do that. And again, getting to conference, there's something about the belief, right? Like the belief in the products, the belief in the business. Like, I really feel like we're pretty much taught growing up and whatever to be fear-based. So like everyone goes into it and it's like, well, what if it doesn't work? And like, I'm not going to spend my money on an auto ship because, you know, the same mentality is mine. Like, well, what if I just spent however much money and blah, blah, blah. Like it's a business, you know? I mean, if I look at it now and I'm like, if I didn't spend, okay, and now for any people who are economics or accountants or dorks like me, like I look at everything as opportunity cost. Like if I didn't spend that $500, that would have been like the most costly decision ever, right? So like that decision would have meant that all of these paychecks that I'm getting now and that I'm going to get until like I'm going to be in It Works for Life, right? So that would have meant that that's what that cost me, you know? And either way, you know, so when people look at it, it's like it's fear-based, right? Like what, you know, what if this and what if, you know, what if I, you know, I don't have this money to spend, I don't have whatever, but like you need to have the belief in the products. So, I mean, I got a lot of the products. So like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to have my own testimony. I wanted to know like what I liked, what I recommended, whatever. But like, I mean, like I was running like there was only so much testimony I could have myself. Right. So, I mean, but I heard from all these people, I saw all these people from the product standpoint. And, you know, for me, it was more importantly from the business standpoint that like, legit, this could happen. You know, it's not people that are, you know, just this huge background in network marketing. And I mean, like it's a teacher, it's a esthetician, it's a attorney, it's a, you know, I mean, like try to find what your, you know, your stereotypical, you know, rap girl is. You know, what's their background? Are they, you know, are they green? Are they red? Are they, you know, whatever. I mean, you can't nail it down because everyone can be successful with this. Now, what has that taken for me plugging in? So again, conference was a game changer. Like if I didn't go to conference, I don't think that I would be here because, again, we're kind of programmed to like 9 to 5 is normal, right? Like, I mean, I thought it was normal that I was working like a dog. Every job that I've ever had, including, side note, including working for my husband, I worked like a dog, right? So stuff needed to be done. And, you know, there's people that sit by and collect a paycheck. And then there's those people that assume those people's work. I was the person that assumed everyone's work that was sitting there collecting a paycheck. So I just always had to work like a dog. And, but I've never known the opposite side of work like a dog and get paid for what you're doing. So, but either way, so I was, you know, I didn't have that, like I said, that like brain cell in my head of, oh yeah, this can do this, like you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Like you can like make millions of dollars, like from this little wrap. Like it was not conceivable for me, but getting there again, like just, it showed me the bigger picture. It showed me that I could do it, that anyone could do it. And that like that money is like, you can see and feel and touch it. And you can see and feel and touch people that have quit their full-time job doing this, that have, done like just crazy, crazy things with this business. So blah, blah, blah. I feel very strongly about my first conference. And again, because my family wasn't necessarily looking for the money, like short term, at least with this business, I wasn't like, I need this to pay my credit card. I need this to pay, my electricity. I wasn't there, luckily. But because of that, I could have been like, oh, well, this is, and I did times, like reality check. I did. I'm like, man, I'm working really hard. And, in my 9 to 5, this is the amount of money that I get. I'm working really hard here, and this is the amount of money I'm getting. But I didn't realize that in the beginning, I was going to work, a lot for some things that I wasn't getting paid on. But in the end, I was going to get paid on a ton of things that I myself wasn't working for, wasn't doing. Residual income, right? So that was, that's events, that's conference. I can't say enough about that, because had I not seen that bigger picture and had I not grasped that, I don't know that I would have stuck with it, because there's ups and downs, and that's normal. This business is hard, right? Like it's easy, but it's hard. So, it's easy because I went to the city today and was sitting with some women, and like literally I said something and somebody asked for my card, and she wants to get probiotic and omega-3 and something else. Like it's easy in that you talk to people and you make money. It's easy that, I'm walking my dog and I'm making money. But it's hard in a lot of, weird ways, right? So I don't feel like working this business. I'm tired. I'm depressed. Somebody quit on me or, whatever. Like it's hard because it's easy to give up too. It's easy not to go to a wrap party. It's easy not to wrap somebody. It's easy not to blitz somebody. And that makes this business hard. So, that's kind of the second piece of my, my spiel is that, in this business, you need to stay motivated. Every time I talk about it, I'm like, it's just so weird, because it is. It's so easy, but it's like so hard in just such weird ways. So in all honesty, and I don't know who's stay at home, who's working, I had struggles with both, honestly. So like when I was working full time, it was, let me go through the excuses. Okay. I'm super busy. This is taking away from my family. I'm supposedly doing this for my family, but it's taking away time. I'm on my phone, I'm whatever. So the limited time that I have with my family, this is taking away from it. I'll go ahead and debunk that right now and tell you that it took away from my family for a little bit, and it's given me endless time with my family. My kids don't go to daycare. My kids don't go to summer camp. My kids don't spend time with every single babysitter in the South suburban area. They're with us. But working, it's like, I'm tired. I come back, I can't post here. I can't do this. I don't want to say this then. Well, don't send this out, wherever. But like I was working for my in-laws, and like, that poses its own set of challenges, because am I allowed to post this? And, I definitely can't post during the day. even if I do it with a buffer or whatever, somebody's going to see it. And it's just creating internal problems. So I had certain challenges and struggles and things that kicked me down. I mean, like, I have called Leah crying and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why is this such a problem to everyone else? Like, I don't understand. I'm not doing, you know what I mean? So like, it had its own issues and struggles. But then the funny thing is, after a year and a half, like I said, I came home. So I was able to, come home with the kids because of It Works. I was able to pull my piece of, our family contribution, but I was able to be with the kids. And now this was an eye opener. Okay. So all the stay-at-home moms out there, like, just bear with me. I never got it. Okay. So a lot of my friends were stay-at-home moms and it was like, they're like, oh my gosh, you had to do this, to do this. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're home though. Like, can it be that stress? Like, and don't take that the wrong way. Right. Like, but it's like you're home, like you have the whole day. Right. But there are so many other challenges when you enter that world. So working a business while entering that world, like, I didn't realize the challenges that I would face in doing that. So, for stay-at-home moms, for people that are, trying to juggle it with their kids, with, being home, here's the deal. This company allows you, you can work from home. You can, hold on. I got pajamas on. I had to go to the city and I hate dressing up. So like, I work in my pajamas, right? So that's great. But when I'm in my pajamas, I'm super comfortable and I tend to be a little lazier. And then I feel like a nap. And then I feel like, whatever. Honestly, that is little challenge. Big challenge is summer. Okay. My kids go to, they're in school now. Like, thank the Lord, I love them, but it's very hard to do your business. So all of you that have babies at home, it's hard. But I'm always going back to the drawing board. I'm always just trying to figure out what my challenge is. And, like, we tell our kids, I got this from my sister, like, her kids will whine to her and she's like, okay, that's your problem. What's your solution? And that's kind of how I feel like with my business. Like, if I come up with excuses, like, okay, when I was working, okay, not having time, that's your problem. What's your solution? So, if it's doing budgets while I'm listening to a call, like, it's doable. If I want it enough, it's doable. But I need to stay plugged in to have that fire under my butt. I need to, do these things that are going to bring me home with the kids. But if I lay my head down on my excuses, it's going to get me nowhere. So I came home then and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like I have all the time in the world and I'm getting nothing done. Right. For those of you who don't know or haven't heard of this, the Miracle Morning, like, self-development, like, huge plug for self-development. Never really realized how important it was. The Miracle Morning, I'm still working on it. I read it. It's fabulous. It's a change of your lifestyle, but essentially it's working on your mind and training your mind and setting the pace in the morning, whatever it might be. If you have to wake up, an hour early, or you can only do 30 minutes or even 20 minutes. So I've been doing that. And they go through just a bunch of activities like visualizing, affirmations, blah, 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 all kinds of things that as a red personality, I'm like, yeah, just get to work, right? Like, just do it. But it's so important. And that's been really important for me because, like I said, the business is such a strange, hard. It's emotional. It can be super energizing. But sometimes it can be draining, like I am totally real. Okay. So I'd like to say everything is perfect all the time, but you get no's. and you take it personal, right? Like I did it first, and I know people say not to, and I know whatever, but I'm like, I mean, there's so much that goes on when I get a no. There's so much that goes on, like when people hit decline or like they're not going to my event, I'm like, aw, like I have a little pity party for like 2 seconds for myself, because I don't know, like I feel like it's just natural that there's just something, you just naturally are inclined to take it personal. So I need things like, I'm a very positive person. I'm a very, whatever, but like you need something to keep you positive. Like you need something to keep you motivated. You're gonna go through this, right? Like I'd like to say that I didn't, but I did. It took me longer to promote than I wanted to. Honestly, probably every single rank. But I tell people, here's the deal. If you told me when I started, like put your blinders on, don't look at those few, first few months or whatever paychecks, like your goal is, whatever. In a year, if somebody told me that I could stay home with the kids, I'd be like, cool, don't pay me for a year and a half. I'm cool with that. Like if I can at that point stay home and do this, like that's it, So like had I ignored those, first paychecks and struggling and you're, back and forth, I mean, that might have brought me down, but more and more as my business has gone on, the biggest thing for me is, is that what I'm so, yeah, motivation. The biggest thing for me has been, self-development, tons of books that I like. I love The Slight Edge, and I love Miracle Morning. Those two I feel like are huge, huge, huge. There's a bunch of other ones, but most recently, like people have been posting these motivational videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's something about like hearing it, So I will, like, I have kind of a compilation, a list of just like random motivational ones that like I go to YouTube and type something in and then it gives me all these other cool motivational ones. And so like part of my morning, it might be 3 minutes, it might be whatever, but part of my morning, most recently, the Slight Edge, SLIGHT, most recently, and I haven't even been looking at any of these comments, so sorry I get like off track if I don't see things. What was I gonna say? So what was it? Oh, so the morning. So I mean, three minutes it can be, but like I'm hearing this person and all those motivational, videos are like, I'm ready to like go run a marathon. Like I'm gonna like get out and conquer the world. And you know what? Honestly, that makes such a huge difference. It makes a huge difference who you surround yourself with, right? Like if you are surrounding yourself with people that are sucking the life out of you, like you're not going to have any life. But in this business, like I'm going to have people that are telling me no. And like, that's part of this business. So again, that's my problem. What's my solution? So what am I going to do about it? Right? Like I'm not going to pay for somebody, a counselor every day to be like, it's okay, Jessie. They didn't accept your invite. It's okay. Like, literally those videos, it reminds you of what you already know, right? Like your mind can be your best, your best asset, the best thing that you got going for you, or it can be your biggest obstacle. And whatever we put into our mind is that, that's it, like that's, if I'm, focusing on all the negative and this and that, starting with gratitude, like, even when I was working full time and I was crazy and I was whatever, like I had so much to be grateful for. Like, I don't care what your situation is, you have so much to be grateful for. And the more, and the secret, if you guys, don't watch or read or whatever, the secret, the more that you put that out into the universe, even if you don't believe it, I don't even care. I don't care if you don't think that I'm so blessed. You don't, like, just intentionally find a reason to be grateful. And it might be, I'm grateful that my kid stopped puking all over the, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't know, but like, if you are intentional about being grateful, you can find something to be grateful for. If you're looking for something to complain about, you can, you know, find something to complain about. But I'm telling you that if you focus on the positive, and even when it sucks, it's a mindset, and the only way you're going to get out of it is that. So for me, making sure, you know, one, you know, that I didn't quit, that I didn't give up. A lot of it in the beginning was that I'm kind of bullheaded. Don't tell anyone I admitted to that, but I mean, conference got me through to where I needed to be. Calls got me through to where I needed to be. I'll do a little plug for accountability partners, because, and not even accountability partners, but sideline sisters. I didn't have anyone in the area. So I randomly had somebody that messaged me that's like, hey, I think that my husband knows your husband. She happened to be in the Skinny Wrapping Girls, or I don't know, some page. And she's like 15 minutes away. Like, we started connecting. I tried to blitz somebody. This is really funny. I tried to blitz somebody at Chili's, and she tried to blitz me. So we both found out that we were rap girls, and we connected. Now, those two girls I host monthly meetings with, every month with. I do Zooms with, I work side by side with. It's a fabulous sounding board, and it's great to have somebody that's not in my upline or downline, somebody that has a different perspective, and somebody that, like, I mean, here's the deal. Nobody is pushing you for, like, I used to think that, you know, like, oh, well, you know, yeah, if I do well, that'll make them money, right? Like, that kind of gave me a good outlet, you know, like, their check isn't depending on me, but like, nobody is pushing you in this business for anything other than this business is like mind-blowing. Okay. Like, I push my team, like, is it a great hand in hand? I do well when they do well. Yes. Awesome. But like, I push my team because I had no idea what this business could do for me, you, anybody, like the person on the street, like corner, whatever. I mean, this business is for anyone, and it can do just incredible things for anyone. So that's why people are pushing you. You know, like, I hear people saying, you know, excuses and this and that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, again, if you could see, like, if I could see that, fast forward a year and a half, right? Like, I want to hold up their life, fast forward 2 years. Like, this is what it would look like if you busted your butt. Like, this is what it'll look like if you don't give up. Like, most people give up, like, but if you stick with it, you succeed. Like, it's not that complicated. So blah, blah, I'm like 20 different directions. But yeah, for me, it's being motivated. And my other favorite word, and Shanna, just like give me a, like, you're talking too much, please shut up. Okay. My other favorite word is intentional. So I had to be intentional when I was working full time, because I didn't have an option. I didn't have time. So like, I had to be very, you know, ration out my time. When I graduated to quitting my job, I lost a lot of intentional focus. And I was trying to figure it out, right? So now, if I love 6 lists, and I just made a new, like, it's my own personal checklist. But like, I have my own checklist that is daily, weekly, and then I have a monthly one. But daily, I have personal and professional. So like, I have Miracle Morning for daily. I consider that personal. I guess it's kind of both, but haven't been too awesome with doing all of those, but it's a process, right? Like, I have to be forgiving for myself. Like, okay, I'm getting way better at it. But when I write it down, it's like your steps to success. When you write it down and you have to, like, be honest with yourself. I mean, if you have to write down everything that you eat today, are you going to eat like a huge oh, you guys don't have Portillo's, but are you going to eat a huge Portillo's chocolate, whatever, chocolate cake? No, but like, if I don't have to write that down, like, you best believe I'm going to go to town on that, So it's just like that. Like, if I have to look down and see what I didn't do of my steps to success, like, that's humbling. And I'm like, oh, Jess, get it together, right? But, but when I know that I have to write it down, like, I'm going to do better because, it's accountable to myself. But so daily checklists for me have been good because I like need it all together, right? Like and my 6 list is in there. So it's like 6 list, whatever. I write down how many people I blitzed. I write down, and it's just like a checklist. I can't show it to you. Because you're on my computer, but that has been my most recent, like, every day I try to do something better. So that's been my most recent way of like, okay, like, if I work this like a hobby, it's going to treat me like a hobby. If I work this like a business, it's going to, wait, did I say pay me? It's going to treat me. It's going to pay me like a business. And I quit my job. Like, I can't make hobby money, right? Like, I need it to pay me like a business, but it's something to think about. But the month before I was promoting, and then I'll wrap this all up. The month before I was promoting to triple, we got like just gosh, it was like devil at work, right? We got the crappiest of all, like, my husband's friend of like forever dropped out of a heart attack, like, all of a sudden leaving 4 kids, like, whatever, just devastating. Somebody that I went to school with, like, just bad, he died. Like, literally, it was just like bad news, like, I just was like, I don't want to, I literally told my dad this. I'm like, I don't really want to talk on the phone to anyone because everyone that I talk to, like, something like horrible happens. So this was the month that I was promoting, which was awesome for my mood and my motivation. But I tell my team, here's the deal. Like, if I was working my 9 to 5 still, like, do you think that I could just like be like, hey, I'm kind of depressed over here. Like, I've had a real bad week or month or whatever, I don't really feel like showing up. Or like, I'm going to show up for like half the day, part of the time. Like, I mean, we have so much flexibility, but if we don't hold ourselves accountable and if we don't treat it like a business, like, you can't do that. You can't say, oh, somebody that I know, a few people that I know passed away. Like, it's horrible and it was emotional and it was sad, but I needed to pick my little bum off the ground and like do something. Like, if I needed to, I love when people say, everyone goes there, right? But you just can't stay there. So like, it's okay to be like crying and have a whole day where you're just like, whatever. Like, I'm feeling so bad for myself. Like, I needed to do that. But if I stayed there, that would be, I wouldn't have promoted that month, right? Like, and it wasn't me promoting. I had so many people on my team promoting. Like, I needed to be there for them. You don't do this business alone. So, I couldn't just say, well, I don't feel like it. Try me next month, we'll circle back. So either way, I think that, I needed to do these things. I needed to like get something to pump me up. I need, find what it is for you. If it's a book, if it's a video, if it's a schedule, like for me, it's all of the above. Like, I need all of them. If I'm going to pour into people, like, I need my cup full. And I'm not going to, okay, I'm on my phone. My kids will tell me like, oh, well, you're always on your phone and you never pay attention. I'm like, we start having this conversation. Okay. What happened 2 years ago? Where were you at this time? It's summer. Okay. Summer, you'd be at summer camp. I'm able to have this time with you. I'm going to have to take 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there to do a call, to run here, to have an appointment, whatever. Like, we're still like years ahead, miles ahead of, where we were before. And, it's not just like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like you need to put in a little bit of effort, you know, like there's some sacrifices that you need to make to get what you really want. But you know, I have to keep that in mind, you know, like if I'm like, oh, well, this is crap. You know, my family's having dinner without me because I have to do a Zoom or something. Like, okay, that's a little bitty sacrifice that I make for making more money than I did before. And like being home and doing it like whenever, like little bitty sacrifice, totally worth it. Like put on your big girl panties, like let's go. But you know, just my advice is make sure, like, don't let yourself get there and stay there, you know, like pour in, you know, you don't need anyone else to pour into. Like I said, get a video, get your good book, get, you know, whatever, you need quiet time, you need affirmations. I always thought that affirmations were so crazy and like, whatever. Yeah, come back, come back to Chicago. But I used to think that affirmations were like so stupid, crazy, like, oh my gosh, like that's just like all this touchy-feely stuff that just isn't really up my alley. But like, it's so important. Like it is. Like what you say to yourself, about yourself, to others about yourself. Like I laugh at myself all the time, but like you need to have a good, firm belief in yourself to do this business. And because if you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody gonna believe in you either. So, you know, that's it. I'm just gonna shut up. That's my, you know, but I think that staying motivated, staying plugged in, you know, just realizing that this business is very, you know, it's a very emotional business. So you need to keep your mind right. And if your mind is right, you're going to be a great leader. You're going to do the right things. And it all starts with that in my little head, at least. So
that's awesome. I love the red personality because we are not, like Stephanie and I aren't. And so we need like, I love it. Like, I'm going to have to I wish that I was writing some of this stuff down because I love some of the way that you were saying some stuff. I'm going to have to like rewatch this to write down some of the things. I love, you know, showing them a picture of yourself in 2 years and like, where do you want to be? Like, it can be either you can be exactly where you're at right now, or you can be like living your dreams. Where do you want to be like that? Mm-hmm. I love it.
And we focus so much on like, even with my customers, like, my frustration is we focus, and you guys read the slight edge, okay? Because we focus on the here and now, but like, okay, if I worked for a month and I got I need to pull up what my first paycheck was. It was either like $14 or like $40 or like something that I was like, oh, like that was worth nothing to write home. But if I focused in the here and now, like if I couldn't see beyond that, that's what conference got me to do, is to see beyond that. If I could see beyond that, I could get to the year and a half. Like that's like really where things start getting fun. You know, like you do all the, I feel like parties in the business and everything, people do like the 80% of the work. And then if you go just like a little bit farther, that's like where all of the magic happens, right? So you do all the work to like start up a new business and do this and do that and and then like people quit. And it's like, oh my gosh, you did all the hard stuff. Like that stinks. How did you quit then? Like now is the fun part, you know, like now is when it starts getting crazy. Same, like that's my same take on parties. Like people will go through scheduling a party and doing this and doing that, blah, 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 and then they invite, and then it's like, well, nobody came. And then it's like, wah, wah. Okay, well, guess what? Now you have the best reason to like reach out to him, call him on the phone. We're like, don't Facebook message. Like actually be a person and call them and be like, hey, you know, sorry you couldn't make it, blah, blah, blah. Like I was putting orders in, you know, did you have a second to check out the products? Wanted to see if you had any questions. But we don't do, you know, like that's that extra little step. Like you've done all the work. But that's how I feel about this business. I feel like you need to see that 2-year picture because you're doing all the work and getting all the frustration. Like literally, I'm like, there's seeds that I planted. I literally just got off the phone with a woman. I'm meeting her tomorrow, her and her daughter tomorrow, about the products and very most likely the opportunity. Like, she's not blown me off, but like, we were supposed to get together. So like, life happens. And like, it takes people so long. And typically by the time that they're ready, like, it's not your time frame, you know, like, I'm not going to muscle somebody into like, you need to join my team right now, because if they're not going to join my team right now, you know, to a certain extent, it might not be their time, but you know, their time. I mean, I have a girl that I've been talking to for literally 3 years. She's going to join my team. Like, she's going to. We've gone through all kinds of stuff, but like, I mean, it wasn't her time. We've had all kinds of, you know, talks and whatnot. But like, if she signs up, you know, nobody's ever ready. But if they sign up when they're like it's not, you know, they're not there, it doesn't do anyone any good, you know? So I want people to see that vision though. Like, look at that 2-year picture, because that's what this business is about. You know, this business isn't, you know, to me, Wrap Cash is fabulous, and, you know, Fast Start bonuses are awesome. But like, it just starts getting crazy when you stick to your original game plan and follow it through and believe in yourself. And, you know, like, blind faith is okay. Like, I had blind faith in the beginning. Like, it's okay. Like, you know.
Just go with it. Okay, so we have one question before we wrap up, because we usually
talk too much. Sorry.
No, but I know that people, like, some people are on the East Coast, so it's getting like 11 o'clock. Okay, so Julie asks, have you ever given out free samples to try and snag customers?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I am super, okay, samples, yes. Wild greens, yeah. I don't give out anything free. Those are samples. So like what you qualify samples, wow. And like literally greens, whatever. Absolutely. Like absolutely. Now I will tell you that everybody wants something for nothing. And if you don't place a value, like, I have a huge value, my wraps, like, I'm not giving you a sample. My sample is $25, and like, you know, you could either get the loyal customer program, or, you know, you can try it once for $25. I do not give that away for free. Ever, ever, ever. And I am glad you asked this, because I'm a stickler. I see it all the time. Like, oh, giving a loyal customer, or somebody's been wanting to, whatever. And then somebody sells them something for a loyal customer price. Like, if I do that, and I've never done that, and I won't ever do that, ever, 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 unless you're my loyal customer or distributor, you pay retail. And I think that it's like just the idea of like skin in the game. Like, I value my loyal customer, like our loyal customer program, and I let people know why. I guess that's the thing, is like, you know, if they're like, oh, well, would you sell it to me for whatever? I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, retail is this, and, you know, like, it's awesome that we can give you, you know, that I can give you my, like, I literally can give you my same discount and more. Free shipping, free product, like, all this stuff is to your benefit. You know, you can choose something, anything for, you know, those 3 months, but, you know, it's either retail or that. Like, no negotiation, no desperation, no, like, I see, and I'm, I guess, exuding that confidence in the value of my products. Like, so you're going to know that they're valuable, because I've seen so many people that have been like, oh, you know, I got a free wrap from somebody, but I never tried it. And I'm like pissed for them. I'm like, that was their money, but they didn't pay for it, so they don't place any value on it. So something actually that a sideline sister told me today is, she doesn't even, like, when she has a free wrap, she doesn't give it to the person. They have to like schedule a consultation, and she wraps them. So it's not going to sit out there. It's not going to, they did it wrong, they whatever. like, and she gets, you know, her follow-up and her time with that person, and she might give them a free green sample, and she might give them whatever. But I mean, I feel like you should make it work for you. Like, it's, you know, it's a business. And so samples, again, absolutely. I give out samples all the time. Like, if you want to find something, use your auto ship on, use it on samples, write it off, you know, on your taxes if you're using it as samples. And I mean, yeah, and that's another like way to blitz too. Like, okay, you know, somebody's coughing, somebody's whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to give this to you. Like, you know, take this, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And I get my card. So yeah, samples in the sense of like a small test samples. Yes. Not in the sense of a wrap or, I mean, really any of the other products.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. Whenever I very first started, I had that mindset, and I didn't realize it was against compliance because I had not read compliance. I gave away 2 wraps, just thinking that, you know, they would try it and join the team. And like you know, I followed up with them like a month later. They hadn't tried it. And then when they did, they didn't do it right. And it was like, wow, like, that's my livelihood. I mean, I remember thinking, wow, I just basically lost $50, you know, because they didn't sign up.
Down here! Stop running back and forth into the surgery!
So anyway, it's just...
Yeah, but that's, if you, and here's the thing, like, there is, not to like compare it to this, but like when you're in high school and whatever, like you go for that guy that's hard to get, right? Like, you know, he's like, if somebody's like, oh my gosh, could we go to the movies today or tomorrow or the next day or when, you know, whatever, like it, I mean, like you need to have confidence, and like our stuff is amazing. So if I come to people and it's like, oh yeah, will you be my customer and will you this and I need this and I need this, like honestly, I would be like, oh my gosh, no. Like I just would assume that you don't have anything to offer me, like, because you're so desperate. Like obviously you can't find people like that value this, but they won't value it if you don't value it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, samples are, you know, one thing, but like, I mean, I make sure that people know I feel very strongly on that. Like,
and also samples, like by coming to parties and stuff, I feel like it's so nice to be like, oh my gosh, we're going to give away all these free samples if you come to a party or if you come to, you know, like an info night or a vendor fair. It's like, have people be so excited, because maybe that's really hard to do, is get samples. You know, if the more value we place in what we have, the more value other people are going to do. So just like what Jessie's saying.
And even for your existing customers, now I just like after 3 years, because I suck at life, but after 3 years, I like am starting to do this. I am getting organized with birthdays, like customer birthdays. It's okay. You work very hard. Again, 80%. You work very hard to get those customers. Like little things are going to keep them ordering. So like a lot of people sign up, people and whatever. I mean, like, especially you get caught up in, I need customers, I need this, blah, 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 like I need to faster somebody, whatever. And like, those are all your customers. Like if you're not treating them right, and if you're not, you know, going that little extra mile, you know, that's what your business is based off of. Your customers make your business. So I'm starting to get organized. And speaking of samples, again, if I mean, you should try every single product so that, you know, you fall in love with them too. But you know what, if you're looking for something, order on your auto ship, get samples. I mean, send a birthday card to your customers with some samples. Somebody gave me the idea like, oh, you know, cheers to another year healthier and looking younger, or something like maybe a little bit better verbiage, but sending wow and greens. Now I have a picture of I just ordered the cards. Like I've got a picture of my family. So it's very family, very warm, very, you know, whatever. But then, you know, I'm going to slip in the sample there. So if you already have them as a customer, like, okay, you know, the greens are $30. Like I would way rather somebody buy greens for me every single month for the rest of their life and them be better for it. And obviously my business be better for it. But like, you know, people come to you for wraps, like you might need to plant that seed, You know, you might need like in a very, you know, happy birthday, you know, just wanted to blah, 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 whatever. Like, who sends cards anymore? We all go on Facebook, but like, you know, that's great. But like that little extra something, like I'm telling you, I go places, you might even serve really nasty food and I'll go there because, I mean, not always, but I'll go there just because you're good people. Because you've gone that extra whatever. Like I will return someplace that I got a bad haircut. Like, I mean, to a certain degree, but I'm saying people, place, like people don't do a lot of these thoughtful things anymore. So it can be that simple. So on samples, you know, you can use that too. So
do you do that for people even if they're not ordering anymore? Would you still send them a birthday?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
Because
about doing that too, but then it's like, well,
that's the thing. If they're not ordering anymore, like honestly, I have like, and I mean, not even like I grew quick, but like I'm always like I'm rolling, like, and I got in that like just like that whatever rut, and it's like it took my one girlfriend, so I enroll more typically, and you know have promoted quicker. She has like volume up the wazoo but you know, she's slower on other things, but like, so, you know, this is my sideline sister. So, you know, we work together and she takes fabulous care of her customers, just fabulous care of her customers. And it shows her volume is always like through the roof. It shows. But so yeah, my thing is like, even people, like a lot of times people are like, okay, wraps. Okay, I have to hurry up and stop the auto shipment. You're not the first person in their mind, right? Like everyone's busy and whatever. And like they finished it and what, like that's like, they're not even thinking about it. Right. So it's like a kind way of replanting the seed, you know, and they're like, oh my gosh, what's this wrinkle cream? Like, what is this? You know, like, or whatever with the greens, like, oh, that's that thing that she's always, you know, carrying at the gym. Like, you know, oh, cool. I'll try it out. You know, I'll whatever, you know, give it to my husband or, you know, but it just replants the seed or, you know, I feel like it's just a good excuse, especially if as long as they're not canceled, like they're still very part of my organization. And I want to utilize the discount that they have. You know, they've already done the 3 months. Like they can get anything that they want to, you know? And honestly, if not, like my neighbor was ordering from her sister and she's like, my sister stopped doing it and this and that. Like even the upline, you know, she's like, I don't have anyone that I, you know, talk to or whatever. So like, you know, I figured I would start ordering from you. I mean, honestly, if they're there, I want them to feel like whether their distributors there or not, like I want them to feel like they're taken care of, you know, like somebody's looking out for them. They have somebody to go to, they know when the promotions are and, you know, so yeah, as long as they're not canceled. Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're all going to start doing that too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry I talked so much.
No, you're awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad that you could make it.
Yeah,
and
I love doing these swaps because my team just absolutely loved having you. So
yeah, it was really fun. It seems like forever ago. That was like the beginning of September. It seems like forever.
I know.
Or no, I guess beginning of August. Okay, well, we will see you. Some of us will see you next weekend.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, but thank you so much again for being on.
Good luck, everyone. I believe in you. Stay at it. Keep that long-term goal in mind because this will blow your mind. So,
yes, it will. All right. Thank you so much. Have a really good night.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.